Ooh, you gotta like that lick. All right, you guys know that the new Halloween movies come out this weekend. Let's talk about it. Okay, guys, just my anticipation level for this film. It's probably in the top 5 most anticipated movies of the year for me because I'm a huge fan of the Halloween franchise, as I've been doing the trailer reactions for previous installments earlier this week. So you can tell that I know the mythos behind it. I know what they're trying to do with this one, that they're retconning a lot of the older material, like they're just wiping the slate clean after the second one. No, including the second one. Yeah, they're getting rid of the second one. So they're not acknowledging all the family stuff. And it's just going to be about Michael coming back, I guess, to get his revenge on Laurie Strode. And it looks like she's going to be ready for action this time. So, yeah, that's my anticipation level going in. And I hear good things. The buzz about this is pretty good. A lot of critics have been liking it. And we'll see what the fan reaction is later on. Okay, that's it. All right, guys, I just got out of the theater from watching Halloween, and I want to give you my initial response. My initial response is that I'm not blown away. I'm a little bit deflated, and I hate saying that. I would tell you this, don't watch the trailers for this movie, because this is one of those movies where the trailers seem to show you quite a bit, perhaps too much. That being said, it didn't rank up there immediately with one of the best Halloween movies that I've ever seen. That I have to say. Okay, let me sleep on it. Let me think about how this movie unraveled, and we'll see what I think about it tomorrow. But yeah, that's my initial response. Okay, guys, you know I was hyped for this film, but compared to my initial response, I'm glad that I took the night to sleep on it. For the most part, you know, I don't want to go against the grain with my review, but I have to be honest with you guys. I didn't get that mind-blowing experience that I wanted from this movie. Now, perhaps that's just because I'm very familiar with this franchise. You know, I've seen a lot of Halloween movies, so perhaps for you, if you haven't seen a Halloween movie before, maybe this will work for you. But I think that's the barrier that I have to get through to effectively communicate my whole thought process about this. If you're new to this and you haven't seen other Halloween movies and you know of it at least conceptually, you may like this. And if you are just a fan of this franchise, you're going to want to watch this regardless because you want to see what they're going to do with it. It was interesting seeing an older Laurie Strode, and you knew that that was going to be the setup for the movie. That he escapes, and there's going to be some big showdown towards the end. Okay. But there was so much with the teenager stuff that it kind of took away from the more interesting parts of the story, which is kind of a bummer because, you know, part of the Halloween formula is including younger teenagers and stuff. But I didn't find their story really all that compelling. It was more interesting between Laurie Strode and her daughter than the daughter's daughter and, you know, their relationship. I did kind of like the relationship between Laurie Strode and the granddaughter. That was kind of interesting. But there was so much going on in the background that sounded more appealing to watch or at least see parts of than, you know, teenagers dancing at a high school dance, spiking the punch and stuff like that. That's just, you know, that was a little too cliched for me. And there were times in this where they did pay homage to the original, and they kind of flipped some scenes around and stuff, and that was interesting. But it didn't have that huge emotional impact on me, and I want to try to somehow internalize why. And I hit it this morning when I was waking up. A big part of Michael Myers is that he's a stalker. He's somebody who will, you know, see who you are, and then he'll follow you around, And then once he locks onto you and he's gonna try to kill you, it's hard to get away from him. And that doesn't happen in this movie. He doesn't get in a situation where he's chasing somebody and they can't get away from him. You never get that feeling like, oh no, there he is, now I gotta run away. You never get that feeling of fear from him. He's just there. He just kills people, and it's just a little bit unsatisfying. But again, if you haven't seen Michael Myers before, it may work for you as the first time through. That being said, I have to think about this movie as a whole piece. And as a sequel, I kind of enjoyed the fact that they got rid of the second movies onward and just kind of had this one be a sequel to the first one. It was an interesting idea. Once again, just kind of like Rob Zombie's take on it. It was like a different version of it, a different take on the material. But things happen in this movie a little too Deus Ex Machina style. Kind of like, he has to get out now, and he has to have his mask ready there for him. He's got to, people have to show up in a certain place at a certain time, and certain things have to happen so that you can't use the cell phones to call the police. That kind of stuff happened. And it was just, okay, once you buy into that, once you accept that, is there really anything more there for you guys to like, are the payoffs giving you that big emotional response? And for me, it didn't, which is a bummer. There were some really good cinematography shots in this. It was well shot. Like the shot of him at the end when he's kind of like staring at them, looking up the stairs. That's a good shot. I like that. And I did like the mask in this one. I think this is probably my second favorite mask. Yeah. All right. So let's go about the score. What was my score? My score was for the acting. I'll give a 1.5. Directing, I'll give a 1. Story, because some things happen where I'll give a 1. Cinematography, 1. Score. The score, easily hands down, was the best part of this movie because John Carpenter came back. He re-envisioned some of the material, and then he gave us a few new pieces, and those were real standouts. Score, 1. Watchability, 2. No, 1.5. So what does that give us? As you can see, I was fairly generous with the acting. I was not so much with the directing because while the technical aspects were handled well, I think there were things about the story that just could have been massaged a little bit more for it to play a little bit more realistic, a little bit more real, to give you that rush, because sometimes it was getting there, it was just getting there, and it just felt a little bit flat at times. All right, that's it. 7 out of 10 for Halloween. That's my score, which is, I think, going to be on the higher side for most people. All right, so that's it. My name is James, and you're watching Mirror Domains. If you've liked what you've seen, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe.